Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? It's your boy Divonis, back with another podcast. And before we start anything, I just want to low key apologize to y'all because I feel like whenever I first started this little podcast grind, I came under the impression that I was like, you know what, I have to be all professional because I'm gonna be talking about mycology, things of that nature. So I wanted to make sure I have like this little professional atmosphere. But then I'm just like, that's not who I am. That's a watered down version of who I am. So let me not show out like this little prepackaged version of myself. Let me just be who I am. And obviously, there are hints of professionalism that must be had with these type of topics. And with today's topic I'm getting into, I must address right now a little disclaimer: not promoting the use, consumption, or distribution of any illegal substances. Just saying that right now. But yeah, just wanted to get it out the way. Let me just kick up the topic. So, my first ever solo trip. Let me just give y'all the little logistics of it all. My first ever. This is gonna be like on the mushrooms, by the way. And I'm not incriminating myself because it already happened. Anyways, um, so my first ever trip with mushrooms, we did like 2 grams. So the next trip, I was all like, okay, cool. I got a little dose, 2 grams. So I'm gonna go by myself and do 3 grams. And I thought, it's only 1 gram difference. What could the changes really be? This is naive me talking. So, I go into it thinking that, oh, it's going to be chill. It's going to be chill. The first 30 minutes, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm starting to feel it. I'm getting the basic things, the euphoric feelings are coming to me. I'm starting to get the tracer effects. I'm starting to feel good. Within an hour, I start to notice a very slight difference. All those evasive thoughts that come to your mind? Those thoughts are just like, you're fat, you're stupid, you're never going to amount to nothing. Those just started like flooding my head, and I was just like, yo, 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 yo. I did not ask for a therapy session right now, but that's what I was getting with these mushrooms, and I was like, I was not ready for this. So like, the more I started to get into my trip, the more I was like, the effects were getting stronger and stronger. Little did I know. I mean, not little did I know. Before I knew it, I started like I started looking at myself in the mirror. I was transforming into things. I was like, wow, nah, this is too intense. And that trip right there, that was the first ever time where all those thoughts that, you just kind of push out to the side, I had nowhere to run. They were just being front center. It was like whenever I looked at myself in the mirror, I would look at my, imperfections, like my acne scars, and I would be like, damn, do I really have that many? And it's just like, whenever you're on acid or something, or like psychedelics or anything of that nature, like it amplifies your sight to a degree. So I was like basically seeing my shit in perfectly 1080p. I'm like, what, bro? It was just too much. I started to like having a panic attack. I started to like cry. I was like, bro, I'm not shit, bro. I'm not ever gonna be shit. I was just like, this self defamation was just consuming me. So I literally had to call my friend, and just to save face and save name, we're gonna call him Brian. Yeah, so I called my friend Brian, and he was all like, hey, bro, chill out, take deep breaths, take deep breaths. Remember, whenever you take it to something like this, you always have to remember that you subjected yourself to this, so you have to see it through. So I was like, you know what, you're right, bro, you're right. So I got off the phone with him, and I was like, okay, let me just internalize what this shit is saying to me. So I sucked it up, and I started looking at myself in the mirror. And I'm not gonna lie, it was hard, because I kept looking at myself and just like not liking what I was seeing back, and it was just making me realize how much I was just like blinding myself. Because at this point in my life, I was like, I would never walk up to a mirror without. Well, I mean, I would never walk up to a mirror with my glasses on, because I would always take my glasses off because I can't really see with my glasses off. So I would just always walk up to the mirror with my glasses off, and that made me realize, yo, I was using this defense mechanism the whole time to kind of like pretend like I didn't see what I saw in the mirror every day, and instead of trying to change it or like do better, I was just like suppressing it. And my trip made me realize how much I was just low-key lying to myself. And it made me that shit really made me learn the definition of that saying where it says you can lie to everyone else around you, but you can't lie to yourself. Because in that moment, looking at yourself in the mirror, you can't lie to yourself. What you see is what you see. And that trip really taught me that. And the more I was starting to internalize it, the better the trip got. And towards the end of it was actually pretty cool. I started to just accept who I am, realize that even though I have these imperfections, it could be way worse, it could be dead, so it could be way, way worse. So, I was like, you know what, fuck it. I love myself. At the end at the end of the trip, I'm like I started to embrace my flaws. I was looking at myself, flaws and all, like eyes wide open, trying to like force myself to look at myself and like be comfortable with myself. Cause I'm like, how can I expect other people to fuck with me if I don't even fuck with myself? So that was one of my biggest takeaways from that trip. And it was, and like to this day, I still struggle with that. It's kind of something that's, I feel like we all inherently have that kind of self hatred because we always like compare ourselves. It's a comparative thing that we always do. We always like, oh, this person has this, and I don't have that, so I must be shit. In comparison, it's like the more you focus on what you don't have, the least that you realize what you do have. And that's just something that I always have to keep up with myself. And I'm so glad that I had that first ever solo experience to make me be like, hey, bro, stop lying to yourself. This is who you are. And now it's like, I still get it to this day, but it's not nearly as strong. And I do like to thank the mushrooms for that. And people be like, thank the mushrooms. Guys, you don't realize these drugs can't talk. They can't communicate. These chemicals can't communicate. It's whatever you make of them. It's like any other medicine, like Ritalin, Vyvanse, any of that. If you use it recreationally, then you can get high of it. But if you use it medically, then it will have medical use to you. It just depends on how you choose to use it. So I took it as this is a medicine that's helping me get over this insecurity of mine. And it's not a cure, but it's a step in the right direction. And I feel like that's what people need to realize about these fungi. It's like no one's ever claimed. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I am claiming that it can cure a lot of things like depression and anxiety, but we have to be more open about it. But I feel like for anyone, it's that it can give you that first step into internalizing who you are and be more self-aware. Because I feel like people lack self-awareness. You can be like, I am me, I am my name, but that's not who you are. You didn't give yourself that name. You were born with that name. Your parents gave you that name. That's not who you really are. That's like your government identity, but that's not who you really are within when you get past all of the superficial structure that we have in society. Who are you really? And I feel like these fungi can actually get us to that next level. And that's what it did for me. Well, at least helped me get to that next step and getting to that self-awareness. I mean, yeah, I guess I've been rambling long enough. It's a pretty short podcast, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. My name is Divonis. If you have any more questions, you can always hit me up. My links are always in all my podcasts. That's low-key cap. But just look me up, bro. I'll probably put links later. I'm sorry. I'm lazy. Not lazy, but it's a lot of work. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I hope you learned something. And if you want to hit me up, my name is Divonis on all social medias with the 0 and 7 0, because, there's already another Divonis. There's already Trip Sitting. I'm on Instagram. And also Divonis Designs. That's my art account. If you didn't know, I'm a graphic designer as well. I like to do a lot of shit. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed that. See you in the next episode.